We have Anthony Hewitt on the show today, one of Britain's most gifted pianists with a very prestigious career spanning 2 decades. You have been on the station before, Anthony, but it's a while ago now, so welcome back.
It's nice to be back. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
That's great. Now, last time you were on, it was pre-pandemic, and we were all living a very free life, although we didn't realise it at the time, or perhaps didn't appreciate it as much as we should have done at the time. What have you been doing with yourself over the past couple of years? How have you coped with lockdown?
Well, I mean, I'm very fortunate that music is something that I can continue doing it by myself and at my own piano at home. Working from home is what I do anyway, to a certain extent. It's the engagement with the public which I've missed, and obviously we've been with the online activities of streaming and all that kind of thing has substituted that and made that. The technology has made it much more bearable than, say, it would have been 50 years ago, but nevertheless, it's a correlation doing it.
Did you find it, as we come out of the pandemic and people are starting to reflect on that experience, did you find it a positive experience or a negative experience for you?
Well, I would say it had its benefits, actually. I mean, I do a lot of there's two things I've done in context. One is playing. We did an at-home festival in 2020 in June to replace the actual physical festival. So that's I certainly learned a few things about technology and about sound production and recording and microphones, all that kind of thing, and connecting with our audience and picking up probably a few new audience here and there. And that's important. That's something we can continue to do and reach people further afield than not just our audience, perhaps a little bit wider now. And we had people in Russia watching our concerts, and that's certainly a plus. I'm also a teacher. I'm a piano teacher at the Royal Birmingham Conservatoire, and again, I was very fortunate that I could continue that weekly schedule, which kept me kept me going really, and that is very difficult because the sound on things like Zoom and not to put them down anyway. Obviously, we love the technology, but you're dealing with sound in classical music. The quality of sound, you just don't get that on streaming. Yeah. But the third thing I think is we did online concerts from St Mary's Church in Barrow, Our Lady of Furness. And that was fantastic because the main thing you need to have a really good quality event, classical event, or any music, is have a nice venue with a good acoustic and a nice piano and some decent mic. So we had that, and we were able to do that weekly. That was definitely a plus that we could not have done without that.
Yeah. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, let's have a little break now and listen to some music, and then we're going to come back and talk about Ulverston Music Festival. Anthony Hewitt is our guest on Drive Time today, one of Britain's most gifted pianists, and we're here to talk about Ulverston Music Festival. When does that start, Anthony? It starts
tomorrow, Andrea, and it goes on until Saturday this week, so 26th to 30th of October. We're normally in June, but because of the postponements, we've decided to try it in October this year. So it may come as a surprise to some who are used to the Ulverston International Music Festival in June, but we're hoping people will get out, and it's raining and things still. They'll come into a dry hall, and the gloomy nights will be cheered up by some cheerful music.
Great. Now, if I'm going to give you some various scenarios, so I want you to tell me which event I should go to. Okay, so if I am a family, if I've got a young family at home, which event would you recommend that I take my family to see?
Well, I suppose with families, the question might be that they're busy. They've got I understand families have got very busy schedules and busy at night, and homework and all that kind of thing. I would say that on the Saturday morning at 11 o'clock, we have a lovely guitar, sort of serenade, solo guitar recital, which goes on for about an hour and a half, some relaxing guitar music. Again, on the weekend, Saturday night, Catherine Finch, who is the used to be the former royal harpist, the harpist to the Prince of Wales, and a kora player, an African instrument, which is a unique combination. That's Saturday evening. Again, that's some lovely harp, relaxed harp music. It's very quite informal. They're great with the public. They're very engaging and friendly. So that's on Saturday evening, 7:30. I would recommend those two. For families.
Okay, well, what about if I'm new to classical music then? I've just dipped my toe into classical music, and what would you recommend for me?
So classical music newbies is I think is the expression. I would recommend actually the first night, because we've got one of the most beloved pieces, most popular, most well-known pieces on the program, which is Hewitt's Trout Quintet in the second half, and we've also got some showpieces, some real revelry and exciting string and piano music, a love song by Joseph Suk, and an elegy by Rachmaninoff. Rachmaninoff is always popular, I think, in his melody and the emotion of Rachmaninoff. So I strongly suggest recommend that. It's very, very easy listening, and that's tomorrow night at Tuesday the 26th at 7:30 at Coronation Hall.
Great, okay, and then the last one for you. What about if I was a very knowledgeable person about classical music and, been listening to for years, almost an expert? What would I go to?
Well, obviously, people are experts, go to concerts and they're familiar with the repertoire. They can go to anything and make an assessment, or they can taste a meal, like a restaurant critic. They could sample the food and give it a rating or whatever. But I would say that some of the recitals, for instance, on Thursday we've got young Russian, Belarusian pianist Olga Steshko. She's doing Scriabin and Chopin and Debussy, and then also that's at 1 o'clock on Thursday, the 28th at the Coronation Hall, and then the next day, the 29th, we've got two performances that I would highly recommend. For the cognoscenti, the classical cognoscenti, that would be Jamal Aliyev, cellist. He's a young cellist from Azerbaijan. He's flying in from Moscow. He's playing Shostakovich, cello sonata. That's the mainstay of the program. And then in the evening, Jess Dandy, the local sort of star, really. She was at the first night of the proms this year, and she's doing a recital of Strauss songs and other 20th century songs with piano, a full evening recital. Again, at the Coronation Hall at 7:30.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, let's listen to a little bit more music and come back and find out where we can get our tickets from. Where can we get our tickets from?
Well, the good news on that is you can actually get tickets on the door. We have hitherto been advertising that they're on Eventbrite, but we have been able to set up a pop-up box office facility on the night on the door, open from 30 minutes before the show time. So you just turn up and buy tickets. Cash and card will be accepted. If you want to book in advance, 4 seats are unreserved, including you can book in advance via the Coronation Hall website, and I'm sure you'll pass on those details after this transmission. But yes, so booking in advance via Eventbrite, but there is a mission charge on that, so perhaps best to get them from the venue in cash.
Well, it's been great having you here on Can Do FM. Thank you so much for all the effort that you put into the music festival. It's great to have it back again. It's such a fabulous event.
Thank you very much, Andrew. It's lovely to talk to you.